Shalom, Yashara Allah, Shalom, Yashara Allah, Kahalo Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. I'm back to you with another straight to the point moment. And with this quick precept or this quick scripture, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4. And the Most High said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. You know, you've had for a long time, ever since the garden, a group or a group of men or a gathering of brothers, you know, that have sighed and cried for all the abominations that be performed by our people and also our enemies against our people and our God. And as you see today, you have brothers that are stubborn. You know, we can't come together and basically sit down and go through scriptures because of, you know, individual, you know, differences between doctrinal beliefs or whatever something might be read. But one thing is for sure. This is one mark, a spiritual mark, which is also a corner because you can see the man that's sighing and crying in the streets. And right now, the sigh and cry is, it has gone out that the mark of the beast is that microchip. I don't know how you can deny that the microchip is not the mark of the beast. I don't see it. I don't see how brothers would deny that. You know, the first time I read the book of Revelation when I was at the age of 19 years old, I still remember this. It was actually my freshman year in college. Playing at I'm not gonna say the name of the college, but at the time I was playing in Mississippi. My freshman year in college, and I actually picked up the Bible again. I was at that time I was still a Christian, but there was something on me. The Spirit then was working with me then, but at the time I didn't have a knowledge of knowing what the actual Spirit was. I just considered the Spirit was what I learned in basically the Christian church. But the Spirit moved with me then, and I read the whole book of Revelations then, but I was, you know, it had me in fear. There was a fear on me every time I read that book because for one, I was afraid of all the stuff that was happening there, and two, there was a mark in there. And I thought at the time, I thought I was seeing the mark then, while I was seeing brothers with barcodes on the back of their neck when they were coming from prison or on their hand. Even at that time, YouTube had been created, and I had just started going on YouTube. YouTube created back in 2005. At this time, it was past 2005, but you know, and I don't want to be rambling and stuff, but to stay on tangent, I had came across videos about a company out of Arkansas that was already microchipping people, and they was doing it. It was basically like a test trial and experience to see how it would function, you know, in a job setting. You know, they would scan their hand going to their office building, and you know they'll go to work, but they was using this chip device in their hand. And you know, I had seen it back then, and you know, I was afraid of them. Like, man, they really finna start giving us chip. I thought it was then. Now to see that those things was for a time, you know, to see it now start to manifest physically. I've only seen it once physically in person, but to see it manifest and then brothers be like, well, that ain't the mark of the beast. At that point, I'm just like, wow, you can't really be that stubborn. There's no way you can be that stubborn. Let me get this scripture, man. Book of Revelations, chapter 12. Where is it at? Let's see. I think it's 13. Yeah, book of Revelation, chapter 13. And I started verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So this is just a representation of the old Roman Greco Empire. Now that we know today is the spiritual Roman Greco Empire, even Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah itself is America. That was the beast that was once wounded. The system that's used now today, and now that it's recovered, is here now, still giving power, having power and ruling right now. Verse 15. and had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, so we're gonna go right into it. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bound, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, this word all, both, and with the words I'm going to concentrate on right now is all, because some brothers say, well, that's talking about everybody. And we know in certain contexts, all doesn't mean all. All right, to receive the mark, and we're going to talk about this mark. So the mark and all. All right, so let's get it. You know, you can be sitting amongst the Mr. brothers and you can do something and say, man, I just schooled all of them, man. Knowing damn well you ain't schooled every single individual one, but they see you school a majority of brothers, a majority, because all has a similitude. The context just meaning majority, but we're going to get it. Revelations 13, verse 15. You know, some brothers will find any and every necessary way to say, well, that ain't it. Whether it be pride or just really not seeing it. You know, I did a video well over a year ago, you know, explaining that, you know, explaining my explanation, saying why I really believe and full wholeheartedly believe that the mark of the beast is the microchip. But let's just get into it, man. Let's go back, verse 16. Let's deal with that word all first. I just don't see how you can't see it, man. Strong's G3956. All right, Greek pronunciation is pa. Same way how you say it in some other languages, but part of speech is an adjective. The root word etymology including all forms of declension. All right, this means this is literally it. All right. Outline of biblical usage. Italic 1, individually. Let me read it again. Individually. Italic 1, individually. There you go right there. Italic A of 1, each, every, any, all, the whole, everyone, all things, everything. Italic 2, collectively. And then here's the dagger. Italic A of 2, some of all types. Let me read it again. Some of all types. Let me read it again. Some of all types. Some of all types of individuals literally means, like I said, you can be in a collective group. You schooled a majority of them. It runs to majority. Right? A majority. Not everybody, but a majority. All has a context. You know, either all or a majority of something or a particular all of that something. And some brothers that really study, go into like certain words, not just the Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, but when they go into the vernacular, the English language, I hate, but we speak it, unfortunately. You understand that certain words that they have created, or the pronunciation or how they use it within the English vernacular, it denotes to many terms and into many contexts. So the contextual thing here with the word all is not all, but a majority, a vast majority of something, right? It's just a vast majority of something. All right. So let's go back and let's just deal with the mark now. The mark itself in general. All right. So let's see if this is a literal or a spiritual mark. You got both. But the scriptures say that wisdom is double. I'll now get that. Got the mark here. The word there, Strong's G5480, is charagma. It's a neuter noun. All right, from the same as Strong's G5482, we'll get that. Outline biblical usage. Italic 1, a stamp and imprinted mark. Let me read it again. Italic 1, a stamp and imprinted mark. Italic A of 1, the mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. As a what? As a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. And if you are teaching that brothers should take this, nigga, use an Antichrist. You a part of that blood. That you're an accomplice to this damn crime. You shouldn't be teaching it. But let me continue. Tell it be the mark branded upon the horses. The what? The mark branded upon the horses. That's another similitude of something being put on you physically and leaving a mark as a brand or a sign of something. Just like they used to do back to us in Egypt and in slavery, they would mark us with branding marks. Italic 2, thing, carved, sculpture, graven work. Italic 8, idolatrous images, which somebody will use that in the context of that scripture, say, well, those who want to worship the beast, that's an idolatrous image. And they will say Yahushua, that not Yahushua, but that fake image of Jesus de Cristo, Caesar Borgia. They will say that that's the mark of the beast. And you know, that's a spiritual example. That's a spiritual example of brothers accepting Jesus, what they would call Jesus the Christ. But you say it and then you teach it in the same such, and which blows my mind sometimes, because you look at brothers like, man, they could have this excellency in this, and I mean excellently meaning they have this order, but then when it comes to something as simple as this, and you'll teach, oh well, that the name is this is the name, but nobody knows true name. You'll say Jesus the Christ, but then when you look at your own doctrine, you clearly see that idolatrous image that you teach about, that everyone accepts, you teach his name and you speak his name. So now you have to question the integrity of what your motive is. What is your real motive? You have to. Let's keep reading. Strong's definition of Strong's. We're going to go get that in the root. Masculine noun. When you say neuter noun, masculine noun. All right. Karax. All right. From karaso, to sharpen, to point a keen. Another root word etymology here, through the idea of scratching. So this is something you have to physically put on. Let's outline biblical usage. Italic 1, a pale or stake or palisade. Italic 2, a palisade or rampart. Italic A, pales between which earth, stones, trees, timbers. I mean, this is literally like something you stab in something, man. It's like, come on, man. You might as well say that's the damn syringe they inject you with the damn mark. You might as well. Let's get deeper, man. All right, grafo, verb, root word, down to the basic root. All right, outline biblical use, to write with refers to the form of letters. Italic A, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment. I mean, this is basically taking a pen to paper or material. I mean, I could keep reading, but I mean, it's pretty much giving you directly what it is. Let's go to Italic 2, to write with reference to the contents of writing. Italic A, to express the written characters. Italic B, to commit writing, things not to be forgotten. Write down, record. So this has been recorded in the scriptures of what's going to happen. Grafo, basically graphic, or, you know, today the same similitude. Used of those things, this is how to see, used of those things which stand written in the sacred books of the Old Testament. Italic D, to write to one by writing in written epistles, to give information, directions. Italic 3, to fill writing, to draw up. Right, I mean, it's composed right there in Revelations 13, verse 15, what the mark is, man. Let's get it again. Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, and rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy, sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name is. I mean, there's the context right there. That's why I said in verse 18, here's wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. It's basically telling you, those who have the wisdom, that spirit of Rakakadash, man, that understand this, count the number of the beast. I mean, to basically say that this is not a literal mark is basically saying, look, I don't want to believe that this is coming to an end. That I know heaven is going to be established on, but I don't want to believe that this will come to an end. I want to continue on what I'm doing without some type of destruction coming, man. And this is sad, man. So you brothers who out there that believe that this is not the mark, I ask you to read this again. And again, before you had brothers out teaching it and, you know, acknowledging this, you had certain brothers, you got brothers now that never heard anything about Israelite doctrines that already know that this is the mark. Now, I'm not saying that they are like men or anything. It's just even the basic man, I will call the basic man without the wisdom of God, knows that this is actual literal mark, man. And it's sad to see that you got brothers in the truth that don't acknowledge this is actually a literal mark. So this straight to the point moment is just to let brothers know, hey, man, that you've been warned. It is a literal mark. It's on the stock market, man. If you invest in this shit, matter of fact, let's just pull it up, man. There are certain companies that produce you know, they're actually producing the microchip, and it's gonna be a worldwide thing, man. And it's on this app I've been using there. I pulled it up, but I stayed away from it because it's just, even to look at it spiritually, to me, I just feel like the appearance of evil in it. For brothers to even sit there and look at it and be like, oh man, they making money off, you know, RFID. You got some brothers that literally gonna invest in this, man. You know. Here we go. Companies that make RFID microchips. They, you know, they make them top rated. I mean, you can't make this shit up, man. What company is Spot C? That's one company. Let's go to another one. Spot C is one company. I had the individual companies on what they call Robinhood. They literally got companies producing these chips and getting ready to push it out on the market and make billions of dollars, if not billions, trillions. Motorola, a phone company. Apple is another company. These companies that create like cell phone software, you know, software products, stuff like that. Not Mac, but Apple, even some of your phone companies like AT&T and stuff. They already invested in this, man. Matter of fact, you see Motorola right there, man. You know, they've already invested in creating microchips that can chip people, and a lot of your Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is tied to it. You know, at this point, man, to deny that Revelation chapter 13 is not speaking about a literal mark, we know there's a spiritual context that we get it, but to say that it's not speaking about a literal mark is basically, it's suicidal, man. It's suicidal. So I will ask brothers to read that scripture again in truth and sincerity. I will ask you to read that again. And with that, I want to give all praise to Kahala Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashiach Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakadash, Death to America. Please don't invest in these businesses. I know some brothers want to make money. Don't do it, man, because you will be tied in with the blood of your brother on your hands, man. All right, Shalom, Akim.